Hey, welcome to the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast with me, Iona Meade at the Soul Legacy TV, Spiritual Business Success with Iona. And I've actually tried to put my ring light like in a different place and it doesn't feel good. It feels quite shiny and bright. So me being me, actually streaming live, is going to try and change it without like causing absolute chaos and disaster in my setup for recording, because that's how your girl rolls. Let's do this, shall we? Yes, because we don't want the light shining the way that we don't want the light shining. So how are you today? How are you doing? Well, I adjust myself. It's emotional freedom, and we're talking about moving up the emotional scale. As a spiritual entrepreneur, as a light worker, this day is like the holy grail of the days for me. And I talk about it in every single other area, on every other single podcast, each of the days of the Seven Freedoms frequency. But I also love to use it as that pit stop of how do you feel? How do you feel in all of the other areas? And I'll talk about each of the areas for the Seven Freedoms frequency podcast. And what I love to do is just reflect back on this last week from Wednesday to Wednesday and see what I'm manifesting, see how I feel about my contribution that we talk about on Mondays, and about how I feel about my health, how I feel about how I feel about my environment, how I feel about my relationships, how I feel about my spiritual connection, my spirituality, and how I feel about my finances. And so what I want to say is, how do you feel? Hopefully you feel amazing. And I know that's not always the journey. It's not in that moment. And sometimes you might feel great in the morning and awful by the nighttime, or vice versa. You know, it's not moving up the emotional scale. And if you don't know what the emotional scale is, the particular emotional scale that I'm talking about is Abraham Hicks's emotional scale. And there's 22 points of the emotional frequency, really. So whatever emotions that we're feeling, there's a frequency for that. And so whatever thoughts we're thinking, there's a frequency for that. Whatever words we're speaking, frequency for that. You kind of get the picture, right? So the idea of the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast is to, the quote came into mind and I don't know all of it, but like, watch your words, they lead to actions. Watch your actions, they lead to blah, blah, blah. Watch your thoughts, watch your words, watch your actions, watch your habits, because that's, I can't remember. Was it Mahatma Gandhi? I don't know. Anyway, just that. Being very intentional and living the intentional life is emitting your vibrational frequency intentionally, which I love. And so today at the Soul Legacy TV, Spiritual Business Success with Iona, on my YouTube channel, I have been, and on the socials, I've been streaming out my Spiritual Awakening on the YouTube Summit, and I've had 2 guests on today. And every two binge watch Wednesdays of the month, I have 9 a.m., 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. slots. So I still got another one to go. So I've had conversations with my guest about their spiritual awakening journey. And so Jude Hill was talking about grief, right? Emotional freedom. And Tasha was talking about embodying that spirituality and all of the things that she has gone through along the journey. And, you know, it's an emotional roller coaster. And Tasha was also talking about her emotional reaction to others. Hey, welcome. Let me know where you're watching from in the world. And so, yeah, her emotional reaction and actually disassociating with that reaction, because knowing that that is not the real her at her heart. And she's talking about Eckhart Tolle and the book, The New Earth. And I haven't actually read that, and I've forgotten to pick up that in the interview, actually. The New Earth. I haven't read The Power of Now, but I've got The Power of Now, and I've just not gotten all the way through it. But she highly recommends that book. The book that I have listened to today, which feels like almost yesterday, because it was so early in the morning. It's 6 p.m. for me now in the UK. These lives are going to start to settle down at 11:11 UK time, but right now they're not. So this morning I had gone on my daily walk, and I've come to my niece's, and I listened to The Astonishing Power of Emotions, and there was so much gold in that. You know, when you just take it in, and you want to have your notes and stuff, like your journal, to note it down. And I didn't this morning, and I wish I had done, just so I could share it with you. But if you haven't read the book or listened to the book, The Astonishing Power of Emotions, I think it's Let Your Feelings Be Your Guide by Jerry and Esther Hicks, by Abraham. It's amazing. I didn't even know that they had different books at one point. I've got The Vortex. I've got, I think, The Law of Attraction and Money. I've got a few of their books. Didn't even know that. I just thought it was Asking It Is Given. And I'm doing that to kind of look to see the book Asking It Is Given. And it's not in this pile. I think it's over in that pile on my desk. But basically, the way that this chapter, I can't even remember what chapter it was that I was listening to this morning, why I would note it down normally, was talking about basically our thoughts, right? And actually, when we're feeling a certain way, and Tasha and I were talking about this yesterday when we had a private conversation before the interview, and we talked about it a little bit in the interview as well, our thoughts. And Tasha was giving tips on, actually, and my voice is, I've just talked on like two-hour interviews today. She was talking about checking in with how you feel, checking in what you're thinking about yourself, checking in with, you know, what's going on with you, asking yourself some really, really great questions, and then journaling on the answer. Because, as Jerry and Esther Hicks say, or Abraham, that when you're feeling a certain way and you're thinking a certain way, that is not in alignment, basically, with, they say, the broader perspective of you and you, the human you, and the higher soul self of you. When you're vibrating at that lower frequency and you're thinking those thoughts, which is fine to think, obviously, and feel, but there's a disconnect, there's a gap, there's a vibrational gap. And I set out on this journey to bridge the vibrational gap. Welcome. I set out on this journey to bridge the vibrational gap for myself, using my journal and using my vision board, meaning that I want to manifest certain things in my life. And that vision board, for me, my vision board challenge, I have a 7-day spiritual business vision board challenge, which I will leave the link to in the show notes and in the description. If you feel called to actually go on this journey with me, I do it live on the second week in December at 7:30 p.m. UK time, Monday to Sunday. So we break down your life to live more intentionally and have the vision. So when you set a vision, sometimes you set a vision, and because that vision is not manifesting, this is kind of what he was saying in the book, The Astonishing Power of Emotions. Excuse me, when that vision is not manifesting and you feel a certain way about it, about the physical, basically they say, paraphrasing my interpretation, the physical world is none of your business. It's none of our business. None of yours, none of mine. Like, what we see in terms of determining our feelings and our point of attraction, it's none of your business. That's not the guide. That's not the guiding marker that you want to discern your feelings and your thoughts from. That's already happened. Like, you've already had thoughts about that. That's why it's in physical form. Where you want to place your direction and your focus and your feelings is what it is that you actually want to experience more of, and feel the feelings of that before and in order for it to manifest. And moving up the emotional scale is a way to gauge that. That is why I say, how do you feel today? You know, and so when you look at the emotional scale, I say, if you are in soul funk or in soul flow. And when we think of the emotional guidance scale, you have emotions that are spiraling up. That's soul flow. When did I say soul funk? In soul flow? Yeah, spiraling up. When you have emotions and thoughts and feelings that are spiraling down, that's soul funk. Because the soul is not all down there doing all of that thing that's in the humanness. So looking at the world through the lens of your soul, for me, is the way that I describe it. It means that I'm allowing the experiences to unfold without that level. Hey, welcome. Without that level and that need to control and micromanage. A lot of my clients have come to me over the years and said that, you know, they had the habit, unbeknown to themselves, of trying to micromanage what the universe does and how manifestation happens and how you think it should manifest. And that's kind of not our job. It's kind of like, ooh, a little bit more hands off than that. And the fact that we're micromanaging it and looking at it and observing what is defeats the object of manifesting and defeats the frequency, because now you're not even focusing on the feeling of the vision. You're focusing on what's going wrong in the physical, and this needs to be here and this needs to be there. But if you had the feeling of it, none of that would need micromanaging, because you're like in flow. You're like, yeah, it's done. So it's a completely different energy moving up and down the emotional scale. Hey, Yvonne, how you doing? Yvonne says, I'm driving, and so for that reason sound is not coming through. So I'll listen later. Thank you for all that you do. Oh, thank you so much. That is so lovely. Have an amazing journey wherever it is that you're going, and enjoy the replay. And if you've got any questions or comments, or, you know, just anything that you want to add, I would love that. I don't even know if you've heard that, but you will on the replay. Thank you so much. That's lovely. So I think of emotionally, when we look back on the last week to now, how has your contribution been playing out? How do you feel about that? I'm doing these daily lives, and Yvonne's been on with me quite a few of the days, so thank you. Really do appreciate that. That makes me feel amazing, because I'm doing it for me first, in all honesty, and being very transparent. And I still have fun when I'm doing it on my own, because I'm like, I don't have that expectation. I can see the vision of reaching hundreds and thousands of people, and then just being in flow with you guys and vibing. And I do have some of you in mind, some of my soul tribe in mind, excuse me, when I'm speaking. And I feel like you're there with me. And one of my guests, Maria, talked about live streams. When she does live streams, she's like, she's speaking, our language has a frequency, our voice has a frequency, and she speaks to the now, but she also speaks to the now that is your now when you're watching it or listening to on replay, because it's always just going to be your now. So we don't feel a certain way and get tangled up if there's nobody on with us. And, you know, if Yvonne hadn't actually taken that time out to comment, I really appreciate that. I could sit here thinking, oh, well, that's not of value to anyone. Nobody's going to listen anyway. But it's like, actually, I've seen you that you've gone live, Iona. I'm doing something right now, so I will listen later. That is amazing for me. That is amazing for me in terms of my contribution. I've just had someone else who, my soul tribe, my soul sister, in Messenger saying, you know, I haven't been able to get on your lives lately. Looking forward to catching it, but I haven't set like a consistent, you know, and that's really good when you do set that consistent. I'm kind of like just flowing with building things up and doing the book launch and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go in about half an hour. Hopefully you'll be able to catch me. And I know that you'll know if you watch this. And it's like, but I'm busy right now because I'm working on, you know, when we make this about, this has to reach people and they have to do this with me. And I think that's why I'm good with doing it as and when in my day it's opening up, time's opening up, and it just feels right, rather than, you know, nobody's there with me. Do you know what I mean? So I'm really happy and grateful and appreciate. I'm just going to do, I've done my rating. My rating is an 11. We rate between a 1 and an 11 because I jump segments. And let me know what yours is. Again, soul funk or soul flow, tuned in to your higher self. Vision board challenge, I've mentioned that. And so talking about gratitude and expressing gratitude, which I always have my little gratitude stone, my love heart that my daughter gave me. And so I'll express that gratitude. And the way that I do that is by saying I'm happy and I'm grateful and I really appreciate. something in the past, something in the present, or something in the predicted future. And so right now in the present, I've just expressed gratitude around my contribution and bringing in the seven freedoms frequency, meaning that every single area of my life, in every single day, I want to anchor in just how grateful I am and just what I'm noticing, and what I'm locking into, and it's kind of like what fruits are bearing from my labors, if that makes sense. Like, and that, excuse me, that trust of I'm on this journey, and sometimes when we are in funk, we don't see it and we don't necessarily acknowledge it. So in terms of my contribution, just before I came live and just in this present moment, that's 2 people, and I set that intention to support you guys, by walking my talk. And I've had some beautiful conversations with Tasha to say that we only had met for the first time yesterday. Again, doing that contribution through YouTube, you feel like these YouTubers, and I'm reading and editing the version of my book that will become the paperback. I'm going back. It's called Spiritual YouTubers from Scratch, a soul-guided influencer's compass to leverage your Lightwork and Lifestyle on YouTube. And meeting up and collaborating with a fellow YouTuber in that way, because I've had guests and it's not necessarily that they're focusing on YouTube yet, or they are focusing on, some want to focus on YouTube, but Tasha with the Temple of Akasha, which was Undefined Life, I think, before that, was already doing that. And I had done research and came across her video and was like, oh, I really want to connect with you. And I'm so grateful that I have. But again, that was on my vision board for my level of contribution, how I want to contribute. I'm not deeply in the YouTube space. I haven't built a name. For myself, I haven't got a really big YouTube channel. And Natasha looked at what I was doing and could feel my energy. And so I'm really happy and grateful for the contribution that I'm able to make there, because she's just so amazing and so aligned and so connected with my journey and where I'm at. And when somebody can see you shine and you can see them shine and they root for you, oh man, that's epic. So I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that in terms of contribution, really do. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate my health. I would say mental health, physical health, because I always go to the physical and I'm just like, I'm good with the physical, but I just keep saying it. So mental health, social health, physical health, emotional health, environmental health. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate my social health. Social. I feel really good. I don't feel like I need to hide in a corner. I feel like I can be social. I feel like I'm just in a really healthy and really good space. Excuse me, for the most part, not perfect, not at all. Everything in my life is still, some of the things are still being built, but I come from that space that it's already done. And so then I'm speaking it and it's like, yeah, I don't know, it's not all done. And I want to be completely transparent with it's not all done and where I'm at, because I never want to paint a picture that it isn't. But I feel really good. I feel really healthy. And hopefully you feel really healthy as you build your spiritual business. One of the things that, and I've eaten, to be fair, I think my cycles do, because I just eat. I haven't eaten clean. And the more I do that, the more I want. So, there's improvements to make. But, I want to support you in your health as you build your business, as you write your book, as you launch your course, as you build your YouTube channel, get your videos, get your message out there. I want to support you in that, to be able to manage your health. Natasha was talking about her health. And actually, and so was Jude, actually, the 2 guests that I've had on today. Jude was talking about in that grief, taking care of yourself as a bereaved parent, just as a bereaved person anyway, It's massive. And what I'm doing is every single week now, so the last week I got, and I know I'm doing gratitude, right? But everything, it's kind of just flows. When I've done my interviews last week, it was like, oh, the theme, and it was habits that came through. And I was like, oh, habits, da da da. And then this time it's like taking care of yourself, embodying that and just knowing. And I think that is probably what's going to happen for me. I mean, I love taking notes. I love learning. I'm interviewing for you, and I'm interviewing for me. It comes back to me as well, because it's my learning journey as well. So that feels really good and really healthy. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate emotional freedom. Going up the emotional scale. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that I'm able to go up the emotional scale alone, and I'm able to go up the emotional scale with others. That's big. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that I can support others in raising their vibration really easily just by being me, just by speaking. And so, if this is helpful for you and you feel a little bit better on the way out, that's amazing. Because Jude and I was talking about, as bereaved parents, that sometimes in the online space, not everywhere, but like for the majority of what I've seen, with the groups for the bereaved parents specifically, because those are the grief groups that I've been in, and Jude had been in over time, excuse me, that sometimes you might feel a lot worse than what you went in. And that for me is not the idea. Although that's okay as well. It's not making it really super bad, but like it's not really coming out high vibing. But we might have held space for someone, whatever, but emotionally, my emotions matter to me. Moving up the emotional scale and raising my vibration is something that I've really honed in on for every single area of my life. And that feels good to me, because it feels good because I intentionally choose to feel good. Yeah. And I did have tears today. And I think that's why Jude was saying right at the end, it caught me. Oh, caught me. And the tears were there. And that's usually when my cycle is due. That's way too much information. But I'm a crier anyway. I am a crier. I cry on camera all the time. Not all the time, but I do frequently. And I'm okay with it. Those tears came up today, and I'm absolutely okay with it. I really am. It's just amazing to be on an interview and have something be moved, So I'm happy and grateful for that. Excuse me. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate my environment, the space that I created. Goodness me, for like doing my book launch, the Spiritual Entrepreneurs Book Launch Club. Oh, yes. Sorry, the Spiritual Entrepreneurs Best-Selling Book Launch Club. Hello. That space is going to be lit. And I've created that for my book launch, and I'm just like, yes. So happy about that. Super happy about that. I'm happy and grateful, and thank you for those who have joined, and thank you for those who have set aside the time for that day. It's my brother's birthday, and one of my best friends who's passed, my godson's mum's birthday. And I will be celebrating because they're guiding me. I literally had said, yeah. All right. So I'm happy and grateful and appreciate relationships. Okay. That's the appropriate place to bring it in. So the relationships that I have with them still in spirit. I don't have the things that many people tell me that they have, those relationships, and they can see it and they can all that. No, I'm not open to that. People like, you could do it. I'm like, I don't want to. I am good with a sense of knowing however they're communicating with me, I can feel it. I am good with it. I love it. I love being guided. And so on my Brothers, it's 19 years since one of my big brothers passed. I've got 5 big brothers and I'm the youngest of 7. And so it was on the 18th of November. And, you know, it's that kind of day, right? But in that, since then, it's the 21st, I think. No, 20, I know what day it is. 22nd? I don't know. Of November. And me waking up yesterday, creating the environment, and then, you know, I did half a marathon to raise funds for cancer research because they both passed with cancer. And having that space, I'm like, oh, wow. And that just that relationship, just that guidance, like, I want to do it. Do it on this day. Do it for these reasons. Oh, man. So I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that guidance and listening to it. Because when you get that urge, that call in your soul, do you take action on it? Because I say as soul-guided influencers, as spiritual entrepreneurs and light workers, I say it as soul-guided influencer. And that's what my book is. It's called Spiritual YouTubers from Scratch, a soul-guided influencer's compass to leverage your light work and lifestyle on YouTube. And Tasha and I were having lots of conversations about that yesterday prior to our interview, prior to me inviting her to be on the YouTube channel. About that soul guidance and what is out there and how we are here to come together in collaboration, because there is no competition. Like, imagine I was going to do the same video that she was doing, topic, not the same video, but the same topic about calling in your soul tribe. I saw her video and I was like, oh, I love it. Come speak to me. And we were on the phone for 3 hours. Now that's guidance. We're both going to speak about the same topic and we both called each other in. Like, that's soul. So I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that. Love it. And I'm happy and grateful and appreciate finances, financial freedom. I got a book royalty after doing, and I might have talked about this yesterday, but I'm just like feeling it today. I'm just saying this is how I feel. So welcome. Let me know where you are in the world. So I got a book, I got that urge to follow that guidance. I believe my brother and one of my best friends to do the book launch. And it's like, no, do it on here. Because I've done the Kindle book launch. It went to number 1 on Amazon in 7 days in seven categories before I wrote the book, right? And then I launched it and I'm doing the paperback now. And I wasn't even going to do a big deal about it. I was just going to do it in the back. And it's like, no, do it publicly, do it, blah, 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 blah. And then as I'd done that, I'd gone out to take one of the children that I'd been fostering for a year, kinship fostering, out. And then I came back and there was a book royalty. There was an email at 11:17 that morning. And I was like, what? I'm in here reading this and doing this and setting up this thing. And I'm getting paid for the book that I'm actually launching, which is a story in and of itself. And I'm like, wow. And the fact that I had seen all of the children that I was fostering, because I hadn't seen them all at once in a day since I left. And I came back, I've seen some, but I hadn't seen them all. And I saw them all yesterday. And I took one to the opticians and he announced, I think I'd said this, emotional freedom, right? It is today. To be in the space where I can stand there for my great nephew, who is 5, who's got my son's middle name, and for him to actually announce to the lady his name. She asked his first name, she asked his surname, she asked his middle name. It's like, that's my Auntie Noni. My name is Darnell. My middle name is Darnell, and that's my Auntie Noni, and I'm named after my cousin, and my cousin died, and blah 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 blah. In the middle of the opticians, to be able to stand there and have to repeat what he'd said because she couldn't really understand it, not actually hit the floor and break down. I think I'm doing good emotionally. I feel like, wow, you know. I feel good. I know that I'm being guided. I know that I trust. Natasha and I were talking a lot about that trusting. So when you're going through a spiritual awakening, it's rude. It feels awful a lot of the time, not every time, a lot of the time. It has for me, because I've had my awakenings through grief. And to be here and talking about it, I feel really, really blessed and very, very grateful. This stone is really warm. I'm in a t-shirt, it's freezing. Well, it was freezing. I think the heating's on now. And I've got an electric blanket on. Tasha and I were sat and I'm like, I've got a blanket. We're in the UK, it's cold. So the next segment, of the Seven Fragrance Frequency podcast, because again, this is about me. It's about you too. Is we've done gratitude, how you launch your day and lead your day and leave your day. As the founder of the Soul Legacy Academy, my intention is, and my mission is, and my big vision is to support you in having the most epic days, because that's your legacy. It's not, well, I'm going to die and it's going to be a different legacy to what I'm doing now. That is your legacy. If your time was up, not that it will be now, but do you know what I mean? Like that, whatever you've lived now, would you be happy with it? That is your legacy. That's it. That's what do you want to be known for? What mark do you want to leave in the world? If you're not doing it, I challenge you to do it then. Do you get what I mean? Like I plan, my intention is like my grandmother, she lived to 101. That's a good goal. Is it 100 plus then, I'll say. I just don't want to spark out on my 100th birthday. But you know what I mean? Like my son, it was 12 days before his 20th birthday when he passed. And it's like, whatever you've done today, that is your legacy. And he left an amazing legacy. Let me tell you, he left an amazing legacy. Was he perfect? Absolutely not. But the amount of people that said the impact that he'd had on them emotionally was, I didn't even know. And everyone had said, he was like a brother to me. It's like a brother to me. Cousins, friends, like a brother to me. He took so much time and so much energy to hold space for people, you know, and love up on people. And I love that. It's how you launch your day, leave your day, and leave your day. That is your legacy. So what does your morning look like every single day? What does the middle of your day look like every single day? What does it look like when you go to bed at night and you're laying your head down on the pillow? What are you saying to yourself about the day that you've had? And what are you saying to yourself about the next day that you're going to have? Are you excited about it? Do you jump out of bed like I did? I jumped out of bed and I was like, oh, I've got to do this book launch. Like I'm honestly, I'm not kidding. I'm sure I missed steps. 6 o'clock in the morning, I was like, boom, down. I launched my day listening to an Audible book called Book Launch by Chandler Bolt. Couldn't wait to get in here. I'm like, typing away. And all of a sudden I look up and it's like, yes, it's done. I'm not leaving this until it's done. And you know, I get to do that now. I was looking after the children, which I know that I was supposed to do, but I knew and that is part of my legacy. They'll all remember me. There's 5 children, a sibling group of 5. I had 3 of them for a year, almost a year. That's part of my legacy as well. How I launch my day, lead my day, and leave my day is really important to me to make a difference. And so yesterday, although I hadn't planned to take my nephew to the opticians, I put aside what I was doing. I did my life first, put aside what I was doing because I've got the freedom to be able to do that, to be on or off, and spent time with family, then went to go and see all the children. You know what I mean? Like, do you have the freedom? You can't just walk off a job and do that. Like somebody said, look, I need you. Can you, this has changed. Can you? But yeah. Saying yes. What are you saying yes to? And what do you need to say no to? Do you know what I mean? I used to have the most epic day. And so Tasha, well, all of my guests today, just saying yes. Yes in the morning, 9 a.m. with Jude, launched my day. 3 p.m. with Tasha, leading my day. And 9 p.m. with Debbie, I'll be leaving my day. I mean, that's an epic day. That was in my mind first. It's like, okay, I'm listening, universe. You're telling me, do the thing, Iona. Launch the Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit. I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. And that is part of my legacy. When I'm gone, unless to shut down YouTube, but there'll be videos, right? And podcasts, and they'll be there. This will be here, right? Even Facebook, they have a legacy account, right? So somebody can keep it. My daughter will be keeping it on. So, you know, that's my legacy. So what is your legacy as a light worker, as a spiritual entrepreneur? And share this out because there's others that need to hear it, I'm sure. Right. Okay. Next segment, Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast, your spiritual business success. What are the 1 to 3 things that you can do in your day between now and next week to bring more joy and move up the emotional scale? More joy, more love, more appreciation, more empowerment, more knowledge, more freedom. What can you do to let go of something or bring something in? Probably let go of some stuff that's not serving you. Again, I've been having conversations over this last couple of days where it's like, actually, what do we need to let go of doing? I've let go of so much, so much. I'm not doing many of the things I was doing. I'm like, yeah, dude, don't ask me to do that or that or that. And Natasha mentioned about scrolling on social media. Like, what are you doing with your day? I don't scroll on social media idly. I do actually sometimes. I'm more on YouTube doing that, watching, but I'm intentionally giving myself that time because I literally don't scroll on social media all the time. I'm not on. I do it for business and work, but do I always watch personal development stuff on YouTube? No, I was watching Ashanti and her story because that was the music that I danced to and grew up with. So I've got an interest in it and I love music. And I've watched the water videos from Tyler's song about 100. I'm in love with that song. I love the song. So I don't always, I'm not perfect. But I'd say 80-90% of the time I'm on purpose, on track. I don't scroll. I'm not being sucked. What I see on my Facebook is intentional because I've got high vibe people on there. And if it's not, then they'd be removed anyway. I don't, I like what I see on my feed. Yeah, I do. So what do you need to do? Let go of? Let me know. All right, we're going to play the soul income game. But before we do, I'm going to pull today's card. Oh, I showed you anyway. It's from Keepers of the Light. This is the card that I pulled today. Look at that. That's awesome, isn't it? So this is Shani. Oh my gosh, Shakina. Is that Shakina? I don't know. Let's say it. Shakina. Sacred self. Unleash your spirit. Express your gifts. I love this. Dance with the sacred rhythm of life. And emotional freedom. For me, emotional freedom, I've got mantras apparently that I would say. I've got sayings that people told me that I say a lot, like not on my watch. I don't think I say it all the time now, but I'm like, yeah, not on my watch and different things. And I say, if it's not fun, I'm not doing it. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. And I use that as my mantra for emotional freedom. There's loads of different things that I would say. People go, you say it all the time. I'm like, do I? Like, okay. And yeah, not on my watch. That's what I was known for saying. I'm like, not on my watch. I'm very passionate about the people that I work with. And when something's going on and we're self-sabotaging and we're doing all the things, I'm like, not on my watch. We're not. I'm holding space for you. So unleash your spirit, express your gifts, dance with the sacred rhythm of life. Have fun. Right? That is beautiful. That is such a beautiful card. So next segment of the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast, I am going to grab my journal. See, I did this journal-less, didn't even have all the notes and stuff. So we did our vibrational frequency. We did our vision board challenge. And if you haven't done the vision board challenge, the link is in the show notes. We did our gratitude. We did our next steps. We did how we want to launch our day, lead our day, visualize that. The soul income game is, and we've done the book and we've done the cards. So the next thing is the soul income game and then the call. All right, and then we'll wrap up. So the soul income game, this is the Soul Legacy Journal. I am the founder of the Soul Legacy Academy and the host at the Soul Legacy TV, right? That's why I talk about Soul Legacy all the time. And this is a notebook. It's a blank notebook, right? And so I call it 365 Days of Your Spiritual Awakening Story. I should say my spiritual awakening story, but anyway. A co-created soul path to spiritual alchemy for light workers. So this journal gives you a vibrational money voucher. If you write on in any journal, right? And say I gave you £1,000, dollars, or euros every single day. What would you spend it on? Welcome. What would you spend £1,000, dollars, euros every single day? So this is what I call the soul income game, bank 50k in 50 days, meaning that if I was to give you money, play money, your bills are all paid, the taxes are all done, savings are good, right? You tithe 10% and then you invest in you, you spend it on you. What would you, and how would you feel about it? How do you feel about money? Right? How do you feel about it? Do you have a good relationship with it? Are you like allowing it in? Hey, Sherry, hi, beautiful. Ah, thank you for hopping on. Really, really appreciate you. We're doing the soul income game, and I love this part of the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast because it's Emotional Freedom Wednesday. So we're talking about moving up the emotional scale and where we're vibrating at for each area of our life. How do we feel, right? And so when we feel about our contribution, this ties into financial freedom and our contribution, and how we feel about our finances for me is directly correlated to how much we are contributing. If our bank balance is showing low, it means for me that I'm not contributing enough. I'm giving lip service to my calling, to my soul purpose as a light worker, as a spiritual entrepreneur. I'm not doing enough. And I don't mean serving enough. I mean, I'm not doing the things that require the business skill and the marketing skill to enroll my soul tribe and my soul clients into my business. So how we feel about receiving money vibrationally will tell us a lot about, okay, well, how are we building our business and what are we focusing on every single day? And a lot of the people that I work with feel icky about money. And so every single day it's like, okay, well, I'm giving you a vibrational money. It's risk-free. What do we spend it on? So we write it down. What do we spend it on? And when we do the vision board, Sherry, have you done the vision board challenge? It's the link is in the show notes or in the description. Have you done a vision board before? You probably have. Let me know. But I've got a 7-day vision board challenge. I'd love for you to jump on with me live. I've got replays on my YouTube channel. The live is the second week in December at 7:30 p.m. UK time, Monday to Sunday, and we talk about each of these areas and we create a vision. And so the vision that we create on the vision board challenge are experiences, life experiences, which some require money. So in essence, when we follow up with this daily journaling, is like, okay, well, I might not be able to go to Abu Dhabi, Dubai, wherever it is right now, but we know how manifestation happens is I want to feel like I'm there already. I want to run a retreat in Thailand and I want to run a retreat in Dubai. Excuse me. And I was just talking to my soul sister who's moved to Dubai. And I was saying, I'm going to visit, I want to blah, 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 blah. And I'm having those conversations already. Like I've got the vehicle and the way to do it, regardless of whether this physical looks like, oh, you can do that tomorrow or not. I'm talking as because if you did have the money, you would be talking about it normally. You would be going and having a look at flights. You would be going and you'd be informing yourself on moving forward on the experiences. And I am no way, shape, or form driven by money. What I am driven by is freedom. And money is one of those tools that is going to bring me that freedom. I cannot have my contribution and be working for free. And we know what that looks like. It gets ugly, it gets messy. People don't appreciate it anyway. And so when there's that fair energy exchange, it feels amazing. So when we do the vibrational money voucher, that's what vibration I want you to feel in your spiritual business, in your light work. Like you've got the clients, you're paid, everything else is done, and you have the freedom to go now, and choose and go purchase that flight or save up the vibrational money till the next day or the next day. But on Financial Freedom Sunday, we've got to spend it. So I usually spend mine on a Sunday because it's a bigger chunk of money. And I usually tell you guys what I spend it on. I kind of messed up a little bit last week, but it's all good. So it's not focusing on receiving the money in terms of I'm going to do something I've got to struggle or I feel uncomfortable with. This is a process that we do anyway. What does that look like and feel like? And my challenge to you is every single day to do that for 49 days. It's a 49-day intentional living commitment to you and your intentions and your vision and your soul clients. And so when we do this, and then I invite you to come to the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Masterclass and bank 50K in 50 days for real with me, and actually create a business model that holds space for that. Sherry, yeah, I remember seeing that. So you've done vision boards. So my vision board challenge the link is in the show notes. And if you can hear dogs in the background, there's dogs barking in the, it is what it is. They're lovely, actually. Yeah, and so that vision board challenge is it's such a beautiful, everybody loves it when they go through it. It's long, it's quite long. It's about an hour and a half, I think, each day, or an hour or something like that on some of the days. But it literally gets you so clear on what you want to experience. And then you become the version of you who manifests that every single day. We're setting those intentions. So this isn't just me, oh, well, I'm just live. I'm live for a reason, to actually hold space for my vision board, not in a like clingy way, but is in a, where do I want to place my focus and my attention? And so, 4 times in the month, we focus on contribution. 4 times in a month, we focus on your health. We check in. 4 times in a month, we focus on your emotions. 4 times in a month, we focus on your environment. 4 times in a month, we focus on your relationships. 4 times in a month, we focus on your spirituality. 4 times in a month, we focus on your financial freedom. And so it's probably more times than what people usually do, but it's not too many times that you're like gripped by it. And so it's you know, our relationships worth checking in 4 times in a month. Absolutely. I love it. I love this process. And the Emotional Freedom Wednesday is a way to check in, to say, how do I feel? How do I feel about the finances? How do I feel about playing that game, and then taking soul-guided action to bring all of that vision into fruition? So it's not that the universe is just going to give us all the things that are on our vision board and plonk them in our world, or knock on our front door and say, here you go, you visualize them here. It's not, I know that's like pathetic, it's like ridiculous, but it's kind of what we kid ourselves to. Well, I visualized it, so it should be here now. I visualized it yesterday, and the universe gives me what I want. I've asked and it is given. But it's not literally, it can be, but do you know what I mean? It's like, so if I want to build a YouTube channel and I want to do a daily podcast, it's not actually going to be done for me. It's an experience that I want to have. So therefore, I've got to learn what I need to learn in terms of the business model for that to serve me. Again, this is for me, it's for you, but it's also for my students as well. And I have a 2-hour monthly coaching course called the 7 Freedoms Frequency Call-in Gym to support you on this, because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to move up the emotional scale, and it's a lot to move from a poverty consciousness to a prosperity consciousness, to make that jump. But that poverty consciousness, without using the Soul Legacy Journal, I absolutely would be there. It isn't going to manifest all of the things on our vision. We know it's not even me. I'm sorry, but I'm not really sorry, because I didn't make the universal laws up. It just is. And so sometimes when we do vision boards, we're like, I'm never doing another vision board again, because they don't work. They might work for everybody else, but they don't work for me. If you work it, it works. If you work it, it works. Meaning, if you manage your vibrational frequency, it works. So I would love to have you on the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Masterclass for the Bank 50K 50 Days Challenge. And it is about taking what you've learned through your spiritual awakening, sharing what your spiritual ascension tools are, and how you alchemize that, and how you give that and birth that in the world. That's the process that I've come to know and talk about. And I'll be talking about today again on the next interview. It's at 9 p.m. UK time. It's the 3rd interview of the day. And it is definitely it's an emotional journey. We reach there emotionally before anything. Like, we're not just going to get there. It's emotionally. So I love this journey. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Thank you, Sherry, for hopping on with me and taking time out of your day. I really do appreciate it. If you guys are not scheduled in for our monthly networking call, please do. It's on the first Monday of the month at 9 p.m. UK time. I'm excited about it. I'm going to make sure I'm on it. Because it's just a lovely space to have a conversation, continue on these conversations, call in our soul tribe, do collaborations. I'm loving collaborations. Again, like I reached out to Natasha, and I'm like, I loved your video and I want to interview you. She's like, yes, instantly. And straight away, then I'm going to be, and we'll do more collaborations. I will be introduced to our audience. She'll be introduced to you guys. And that's how the world works. You know, relationships make the world go around, I think. So thank you again for spending this time with me. This is Iona Meade, host of the Soul Legacy TV, Spiritual Business Success with Iona YouTube podcast. Please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share this out. Please share this out on socials that somebody, you know, if you've enjoyed it and you've spent some time with me, maybe there's somebody in your circle that could hear this today and really hear it and feel it. And travel up the emotional scale, or go and have a look at what the emotional scale is and just see where they're vibing at. Because when I raise my vibration, you raise your vibration, we actually raise the vibration of the collective, and that's what we're here for. And, you know, I'm often saying, as spiritual entrepreneurs, as light workers, when we are vibing low, lengthy periods of time, i.e. in the fear of failure, success and selling, we are awake and we are lowering the vibration of the planet. Get one, like, or in guilt, or in blame, or in shame, or in over all those things. We are awake and we are lowering the vibration of the planet. For me, it's got to shift. We can't be pointing the finger saying, I can transform you, and you. And not actually look at ourselves first. That makes no, and plus the way that we are looking at the world through that lens, it just is our beliefs. So if we shift, we're going to see something different, right? Hey, love, how are you doing? How long have you been on there? Have you been the second person that's on there? The number 2 for a little while. Bless you. Oh, thank you, Sydney. I love it when you guys come on and spend this time with me. I absolutely love it. It's Emotional Freedom Wednesday. We're talking about moving up the emotional scale. So how are you feeling today? How are you guys feeling? Hopefully you're feeling amazing. And if you're not feeling amazing, I'm sending you love. I'm sending you healing vibes and good energy. And if you are feeling amazing, let's raise the vibration even more and just really be beacons of light. Well, we just get our gifts out in the world and support one another. So for you guys as well, as you're on the lives together, right, hearing each other and commenting, the call is a space for you guys to collaborate, for you guys to get to know one another, for me to get to know you guys as well. So invite others in, you know, share this live out and say, Iona's doing a monthly call. Don't know if you'll be interested. Here's one of her live streams. The links are in the show notes. You know, it's just like reaching the people that, you know, that 5 closest people, or that 7 degrees of separation, whatever that is, you know. It's the people that know someone, that knows somebody, that knows somebody, all the people that we want to know and that we'll ever know are connected to especially on the socials, right? So yeah, I do really, really appreciate you spending the time with me. It just lights me up. And that's why I do it live. I could absolutely just sit and record a video and upload it, and it's boring and tedious as heck. I was going to swear then. It is so, like, I will create a video and I will be robotic and mechanical and upload a video and ta-da. I can't even think of anything worse. I love having a conversation, even if it's with myself sometimes, knowing that you guys might watch the replay. But it's beautiful when I see your names pop up, and it just brings your energy. And whether you say anything or not, it just brings your energy. And just to know that, you know, anything that, if you just one thing that I say, and it makes a tiny bit of difference, then my work is done. That's my legacy. So thank you. And thank you for the love. I'm going to hop off because I've got my interview, my next one. Hopefully you guys can make it to, and Sydney's going to be featured as well on the 6th of December. So yeah, 9 p.m. Don't know what time it is now because I'm on my phone. Hang on, let me just touch my computer, touch my Mac. Doesn't want to play. In 2.5 hours, we're live again. So Sydney, I know that you're on YouTube, and Sherry, you're in Facebook. I will be streaming both of them. If you are in the attendees group, I don't think Facebook is actually giving the notifications, to be fair. I'll invite you guys to the event, and then if you click go into the event, or if you click on the YouTube channel, the actual interview that you want to see, if you click notify me, you'll get notified when I go live. Or if you know of the time and you go to my YouTube channel, it will just be, you might have to refresh it. It'll just be playing. So I've got Debbie, and Debbie and I have not spoken yet, but she's amazing. I've seen some of her work and stuff. So again, I just share the connections, and I'm just like, yeah, let's go. And again, she said yes. I said, I'd love to interview. Please come and share your spiritual awakening story. She said yes. It's like, and it sounds amazing. I'm like, oh, so blessed, so blessed. You guys are so blessed. So thank you again, and I shall speak to you soon. Take care. Again, share gifts, shine your light, because you are born to serve. Big love.